400 stanzas on the middle way with commentary by Gyel-tsap. Chapter 5, Bodhisattva Deeds. The explanation of how to train in the deeds, having generated the practical altruistic intention, has 4 parts. The first is the actual meaning. The second explains the means to abandon disturbing emotions which prevent the deeds. The third shows how to abandon attachment to sense objects on which disturbing emotions focus. The fourth shows the methods of fully training the student's mind stream, making it receptive to the development of spiritual paths.
The actual meaning of how to train in the deeds. Through the special features of the preceding good and precious explanation, those of Hinayana disposition, feeling aversion towards cyclic existence, seek liberation. Those of Mahayana disposition, having developed great compassion, seek Buddhahood. Question: where are the causes for this found? Answer: in the Buddha. Question: what is a Buddha like? Answer: such a supremely compassionate person performs inconceivable activities for the welfare of all sentient beings without exception. Buddhas make no movement of the 3 doors that is not for the benefit of sentient beings. The king of meditative stabilizations says, and even his breath, which flows naturally without depending on any intention, forms a huge rain cloud above the hell realms like a mount of ointment, fascinating the hell beings. From it falls a delicious cooling rain, making the massive fire in the hells die down. Freed from their suffering, the hell beings wonder whose power pacified it, whereupon they see the Buddha's body adorned with the major and minor marks. The force of their admiration stills the suffering of the hells and produces in their minds virtue concordant with the attainment of liberation.
Thus, if even his breathing is exclusively for the temporary and ultimate welfare of sentient beings, what need is there to mention the benefit of activities such as teaching? Those interested in their own good should have faith in and respect for Buddha, the supramundane victor. The analogy of what happened and a monk of the Parasara caste agreed to stay in a mechanic's house for the summer is as in Candrakirti's commentary. A master mechanic offered to support a monk of the Parasara caste if he would stay in his house throughout the summer. In the basement of his house there were many machines doing mechanical work. The monk remained on the premises as his host wished and did not leave the house. Bidding him goodbye when the summer was over, his host gave him money for a set of robes and told him it was payment for his work. The monk replied, "I haven't done any work for you. Why should I accept payment?" His host told him he had done nothing but work during his stay and took him to see the machines and what had been manufactured.
Those who trust the Buddha will gain freedom from all fears, even the fear of death. The words "Lord of Death" terrify ordinary people. Similarly, just hearing the words "Omniscient One" endow whoever hears them with the good fortune to attain nirvana, thereby terrifying and subjugating death as well. Sutra says, "Those who hear my name will attain nirvana in any of the 3 vehicles." It is like the following analogy: when a son was born to a certain king, he issued a decree freeing all prisoners. His subjects were happy, except for the prison guards, who were as frightened as if they had been exposed to a contagious disease. Similarly, when Tathagatas come, all beings except demons are happy. Assertion: surely he lacked omniscience since he did not answer 14 questions such as whether the self and the world are permanent or impermanent and so forth. Answer: rather than disproving, it establishes his omniscience. A subduer directly perceives the right and wrong time for temporary and ultimate actions, what actions should not be done, what is not beneficial, what is harmful, as well as all that should or should not be said.
Since the Buddha possessed such perception, he did not give an answer to these questions, which were based on a belief in the true existence of persons and phenomena. It is not feasible for a basis of attribution whose existence has been negated to have an attribute. He did not answer, because he saw that they would not be receptive vessels for the profound, were he to teach selflessness. Thus there is no reason to say that the Omniscient One is not all-knowing. Indeed, this substantiates his omniscience. The precious Garland says, it is like the following analogy: a certain king, wanting to penalize a rich Brahmin, told him that he would be punished unless he quickly sent his family's well. The Brahmin's daughter replied, "Wealth attracts wealth, and one elephant attracts another, please send us a well." In this way they avoided punishment. Similarly, a Buddha acts for the welfare of sentient beings by skillful means.
Question: if Buddha does not say what should not be said, did he not say, referring to Devdatta, "What of this boy who wears one piece of cloth and has taken the bait?" Answer: although he said this, it was not to harm others but to turn them away from ill deeds. He saw that unless he deflated Devdatta, many transmigrators would be harmed. Words intended to benefit, even if unpleasant, are entirely virtuous. Mind should be understood as paramount or foremost in all activities of the three doors. This is because actions like coming and going are not seen to be meritorious or demeritorious except through the power of the virtuous or non-virtuous intention motivating them. It is like the following analogy: a naked ascetic entered a temple and prostrated to one statue while touching another with his posterior, thereby creating virtue as well as an ill deed. Since mind is foremost in all activities, virtuous actions such as giving or even such actions as killing, which in others would be non-virtuous, all become perfect virtue in bodhisattvas who are in control of their minds, because of their motivation to help others. This is because they have gained the ability at will to engage in virtue and not to engage in non-virtue. Cutting off a finger bitten by a snake stops the momentum of much greater suffering and causes only a little pain. This does not make the doctors who do it non-virtuous. Bodhisattva's deeds are like this.
It is like the following analogy: a bodhisattva called Mahakaruna, who was a captain, used a short spear to slay a pirate captain who intended to kill a group of 500 bodhisattvas on board. He thereby turned his back on 100,000 eons of cyclic existence. Question: when are such bodhisattvas known as ultimate bodhisattvas? Answer: after they have attained the first ground. The special features of their good qualities are as follows: if the accumulated merit through which one becomes a universal monarch ruling the four continents is great, there is no need to mention that the merit required for all beings on earth to do so would be greater. The merit of a bodhisattva who has generated the first ultimate altruistic intention far exceeds the merit that would make all beings on earth become universal monarchs. It is like the following analogy: a king issued an edict which made it easy to know what was permitted and not permitted. This brought the king wealth, and his subjects security. Similarly, the altruistic intention of bodhisattvas on the first ground acts as a cause for everything up to the attainment of Buddhahood by sentient beings and thus allows what is of great importance to transmigrators to occur. Some, failing to differentiate between the attributes of conventional and ultimate bodhisattvas, claim that if they are common beings, they cannot be fully qualified bodhisattvas. Since this is a grave ill deed, it should be thrown out like a gob of spittle. Question: how much merit is there in inspiring others to develop the altruistic intention of the great vehicle? Answer: